Hi, good day to our beloved lecturer, Dr. Shazwani and fellow friends. Today we're going to present an article titled of Organizational Content, Supplier Management Practice and Supplier Performance. It is a case study of a multinational company in Malaysia. Today I'm going to present the introduction of the case study. First of all, globalization has had a significant impact on supply chain management, leading to the need for organizations to reestablish their operation and differentiate themselves from competitors. Integration of supply chain management practices is essential for achieving and improving performance. Besides, supply chain management practices encompass a set of approach and activities that aim to improve the overall performance. Supply chain management practices involve integrating with suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, customers, and enhance long-term business performance. Can be achieved through effective supply chain management practices that focus on flexibility, cost reduction, quality improvement, and timely delivery. This adoption of supply chain management practices is crucial in order for organizations to effectively navigate the challenges and complexities presented by globalizations. Thank you.
I am KUGANYA GANASARAO. I'm going to present the literature review for this article. So we have divided literature review into three parts, which is background of studies, problem statement or hypothesis, and methodology. Firstly, background of the study. Based on the article, we found out how supplier management practice interact with the organizational context structure, such as power dynamics and amount of competitors to affect a supplier's productivity. Secondly, problem statement or hypothesis. The first problem statement is use practices as a facilitator, as various researchers have recommended if the investigation is focused on information practice and achievement. The second problem statement is a simple consequences is that after a company has organized its organizational setting, it will be in a place to exploit connection throughout the manufacturing process because there is a delay among the organizational setting and managerial practice. The third problem statement is cooperation and the growth of the supplier's capacity were heavily studied in the research on dealing with suppliers. Businesses often create a priority for themselves before incorporating other parties. Thirdly, methodology. We have 3 points here based on the article, and our first point is organizational framework element, which has breakdown to two: authority imbalance, and the second one is level of competition are two dimensions of organizational context. The second point of methodology is practices for managing suppliers, which is also as two break point. The first one is high involvement work procedure, and the second one is economically transaction practices, and the third point of methodology is supplier performance. That's all for literature review. Thank you.
Hi, I am Naraayani. I will be walking you through the findings and discussion part of this article review. Before that, let's get to know our studies variables. On the independent variable, we have power asymmetry from the buying firm with two dimensions, which is dependent and mediated. Also, we have competition intensity as independent variable with two dimensions, which is intensity and entry barrier. Moving on to the dependent variable, which is the supplier performance with three dimensions, which is quality, delivery, and flexibility. There were two variables has been controlled and tested along with the others, namely mediating variables, which is categorized as practices, and we have two dimensions in it. Those are HIWP and economic transaction. Throughout the study, all of these variables has been tested interchangeably to arrive at an unbiased conclusion. Moving forward to the descriptive analysis. Table 2 on my left illustrates the means and standard deviations for each variable. The mean scores for all dimensions except dependent power asymmetry were above average, indicating that there were a systematic supplier management program in the organization. The standard deviations for all dimensions were comparatively smaller compared to the literature, suggesting that the company had more focused on the consistent supplier management program. The descriptive analysis also revealed that all suppliers performed well in delivery and flexibility, but rather weak in quality. This suggests that the company places higher importance on speed, delivery, and flexibility compared to quality when selecting suppliers. The results of the regression analysis showed that there was a significant and negative relationship between high involvement work practices (HIWP) and supplier quality and flexibility. This indicates that implementing HIWP has a detrimental effect on supplier quality and flexibility. Conversely, the analysis indicated that economics transactional practice had a positive influence on delivery performance, which supports the hypothesis that this type of practice enhances supplier delivery. The results also offer valuable information about the connection between various factors involved in choosing suppliers. The inversely correlated between HIWP and supplier quality or flexibility suggests that companies should think carefully about the potential drawbacks when implementing HIWP. On the other hand, the positive effect on economic transactional practice on delivery highlights how important it is to take transactional factors into account during supplier selection. Overall, this analysis improves our understanding of the influences on supplier selection. There were 5 key sections that are elaborated upon as an interpretation of this study. Firstly, the effect of critical product on supplier management practices and power tactics. The findings of this study suggest that when a product is critical, the buying firm tends to rely more on suppliers and engage in cooperative buyer-supplier relationship in order to ensure the successful fulfillment of the product requirements. Secondly, supplier management practices and supplier performance. The findings of this study suggest that the implementation of HIWP did not have a positive influence on supplier performance in this particular organization. A mismatch of perspective or poor execution of HIWP strategy. Thirdly, the power asymmetry and competition intensity on supplier management practices. The results of the study confirms that there was no sufficient differentiation to test that power asymmetry determines the type of supplier management practices to employ. On the other hand, the results confirmed that the fact that when competition intensity was high, both HIWP and economic transactional practices were equally important to sustain continuity from the buying firm. Number 4. Competition intensity on power asymmetry. The relationship between supplier and buyer is often characterized by power asymmetry, especially when there is a significant contrast in size. This can be mitigated by considering factors such as supplier and buyer size. Finally, the mediating effect of supplier management practices between power asymmetry, competition intensity, and supplier performance. As previously discussed, power asymmetry in buyer-supplier relationship does not directly impact supplier performance. Plus, the dimensions of dependent and mediated power asymmetry also do not have a direct relationship with quality, delivery, and flexibility. Instead, competition intensity plays a significant role in influencing supplier quality, while it has no effect on supplier delivery.
Hi, I am Narvin MUNIANDY. I'm represent article review part of our result. So this research result to know of the implication of study and limitation and future direction of study. The first implication of study is a mediating role of high involvement work practice. The study conducted a group analysis on the impact of competition intensity on supplier quality performance, found that high involvement work practice play a crucial role. Additionally, it was discovered that high involvement work practice is partially mediate the effect of competition intensity on supplier flexibility. By the result, given this result, the organizations are encouraged to adopt high involvement work practice as a strategic approach to boost supplier performance within a competitive market. Second implication of study is the importance of transaction factor. Through intensive this research, it became evident that transaction factor related to economy have a positive influence on improving supplier delivery performance. This discovery underscored the importance for the organization and to consider various transactional aspects such as a pricing strategy, contract management practice, and communication channel. Third implication of study is supplier selection criteria. The finding of the study suggests the organization prioritize delivery, flexibility, and quality when selecting supplier. This implication that companies place as a higher emphasis to time delivery, adaptability to changing demand, and maintaining high product or service standard. Fourth implication of study is managing supplier in competitive market. The study provides insight into the managing supply in competitive market by highlighting the impact of competition intensity on supplier performance and how high involvement work practice can act as a mediating factor. And last implication of study is generalizability to the other industry. Although the study was originally conducted in the electronic industry, its finding can be extrapolated to other industry that share similar characters. The industry with short product lifespan, strict industry protocol, and constantly changing environment. Overall, the study implication provide valuable insight for practitioners and managers in supply management. They highlight the importance of considering high involvement work practice, transactional factor, and strategic priorities when selecting and managing supplier to improve performance in competitive market.
I'm Prevena. Today I would like to present the main findings from the result based on the article review. Now I would like to explain regarding the limitation and the future direction which have been found through the article. The study acknowledges several limitations and suggests the potential directions for the future research. The first limitation of this study is the generalizability. This study was conducted in a specific context called as the electronic industry. Future research should be aimed to replicate the study in different industries to access the generalizability of the findings. Then the emerging variable also will be one of the limitations of this study. This study actually did not consider the emerging variable like the product search and also the global sourcing. Okay, the future research should incorporate emerging variable to gain a more comprehensive understanding of the supplier performance. Okay, the next limitation will be the perspective. This study actually analyzed from an industrial purchasing perspective but did not consider in the market structure from an industrial organization perspective. Okay, the future research could explore this perspective to gain a good understanding of the factor that influence supplier performance. Not only that, a single company study also will be one of the limitations. This study focuses on a single multinational company. The future research should include the multiple companies from various industries to enhance the validity of the findings. Then I would like to explain about the future research directions which get through this study. Okay, the first point will be the supply innovation and also the sustainability. This study actually suggests that the future research should explore the impact of the supply performance and understand the factors that influence the supply management practices which able to enhance the supply relationship. Besides that, the longitudinal study also can be one of the elements for the future research directions. This study actually provides a snapshot of the relationship between the variables at the specific point of time. Future research also could employ the longitudinal design to examine the changes in the variable. Next will be the comparative in the future research. Directions also will be included and also can help to identify the difference in the supply management practices. Alright, lastly will be the qualitative research. Actually, this study primarily utilized the quantitative research method, and also future research could incorporate the qualitative and help the organization with the valuable insights for enhancing their supply relationship.
Conclusion. Based on the article, this study investigates the function of management of suppliers' practices as a mediator between the impact of authority imbalance and the level of rivalry on the performance of suppliers. Secondly, according to the research, high involvement work practices in an organization are crucial because they mitigate the impact of quality of suppliers and mobility upon the level of competitiveness. Finally, the research has demonstrated which there can be no one solution that applies to all circumstances. Thank you.